How's it going, guys? And welcome to the Uncivilized Run, where we have a bit of an unprecedented situation. So, I recorded a full episode and completed the series on Mannan. However, unfortunately, the capture device decided it didn't want to do anything, and about 3 minutes in, it shut itself off. Now, the downside, I normally use a system called OBS, which allows me to have a separate window open to let me see the status of the recording at all times. It's a good chance for me to catch this kind of thing. However, with games like Knights of the Republic, OBS doesn't really capture it very well. If anything, it just crashes. So I had to use GeForce. It's part of the NVIDIA package that comes with getting a graphics card that's in NVIDIA. It's pretty good. Actually, it has a shadow play and it has a lot of other good features with it. And it's actually really stable with games that otherwise do not record well. The downside being it can be difficult to know if something goes wrong. And that's exactly what happened. So instead of trying to just replay all of that, I'm just going to summarize it because whilst we can't experience the full thing together, I can give you at least a bit of an idea of what exactly happened. So, we took the data machine back from the Sith, we were able to dodge our way out of getting in trouble with the Cellcath there, and we immediately took a sub down from the Republic base to the bottom floor where they have a secret laboratory where they were going to harvest Kolto at the source secretly to give the Republic an advantage without the Sith knowing about it. This was with the benefit of a portion of the Cellcath government, but it was definitely a secret part, definitely not supposed to be happening. We get down there because they've sent teams and mercenaries down to go see what's going on. No one's come back, nothing's been heard, and there's even been explosions from down there, and they don't know why. Turns out everything's gone bananas.
How did you get in? Did they send another submersible? Quick, we have to get out of here. We have to get away.
There was some kind of screen that came from the rift. Everyone got splitting headaches, and many of them were sent unconscious. All the Cellcath, on the other hand, went pretty feral. They started running around, ripping throats out and everything. So, yeah, needless to say, it's gone very, very poorly. I made the comment while I was down here that it was very Lovecraftian with this idea of fish people going mad and devouring the others. So we make our way through the station. We actually find it's pretty easy to clear through. I think it's because the Cellcath, whilst they are very strong and a lot of them are melee focused, they don't really have a lot of armor, and so with the Wookiee and with HK, we were able to cut our way through them really easily, and we managed to make our way through the base really well until eventually got to a point where I had to go out into the surface of the pool of the water. And I say I because we only had one spacesuit, so it literally becomes a solo mission with Killy the Bid, who goes down. And we meet a friendly survivor who's been hiding out in the water, deciding that hiding in the water was safer than with the mad Cellcath.
Who's there? You're not Cellcath, I can see that much. Are you another rescue crew? I'm a merc the Republic hired a couple days ago to investigate. But all we found was a bunch of insane Cellcath killing everything that moves. All my companions are dead. The Cellcath swarmed over us. There were dozens of them. And they looked wrong somehow. Like something had changed inside them. Insane or something. Oh, I'd have gone back to the surface long ago if this complex hadn't been overrun by all those crazy Cellcaths. There's no way for me to get to the submarine docking bay.
But it turns out that not only the Cellcath have gone crazy, but the sharks have gone crazy. They'd been dangerous before, but now they're just going wild. He goes out and displays this perfectly in a great little scenario.
Come on, hurry up. Don't just stand there, we have to keep moving. The water is filled with... Ah!
So then we walk across the bottom of the floor, thankfully using a sonic emitter to be able to stun the sharks so that we can get back to a base. And nice thing is we get a good welcoming party with a couple scientists who have gone a little crazy getting trapped inside with a bunch of bad Cellcath trying to eat their faces. So once they meet us, they decide that we are too dangerous to be left alive and try and suck the air from our lungs.
No, you can't come in here. You'll let the Firaxa and the Cellcath in. No, stay out! Stay out! I won't let you open the door for those monsters to get in. I'll stop you. I'll suck all the pressure out of the chamber. That'll stop you.
Kill them! Kill them now!
Despite their performance to try and take my breath away, I was able to hack my way out, and we were able to discuss options. Turns out that the giant shark that lives inside the rift where the Kolto comes out was the problem. It looks like it's some kind of super mother shark. So we decide there are two options. We can either destroy the machinery that was getting close to its habitation. That could be tricky because we're going to have to set up a massive explosion using a very volatile liquid, or we could just simply use a toxic poison that was developed to try and counteract the shark threat and just, kill the thing. Now, Killy the Bid, he doesn't mind doing the hard work, but come on, this is a giant sea monster that's made people literally go insane and is threatening to rip rip us apart and continue to destroy whatever's around it. It seems very logical that someone who would go and willingly kill a great dragon would go and also take out a giant fish. But yeah, that's probably going to be a problem later. But we still get to manage to make our way to the star map, and wouldn't you know it, it's our last one. So we get a nice little animation showing us that all the points we've been able to map have given us a hyperlane route that leads to an interesting space station around a star that we don't know about, and it gives us a path to guide us straight to it. So now we've got everything we need to finish out the game and to head to the final planet, the resting place of the Star Forge, and figure out what on Earth's going on, why Malik is so strong, and potentially a way to stop him. But we're going to have to get out of here first. So we waddle our way back in our Teletubby suit, get our friends, head back to the submersible, and get back to the surface, reporting to the Republic about all the great things we did and all the people we didn't save, but we couldn't have saved. And everything seems fine, you know? I mean, mission accomplished. Nothing really overtly going wrong. We may have poisoned the Kolto supply, but, you know, I mean, tit for tat, you know, we managed to save people. That's what matters, right? As long as nothing goes wrong and the Selkath are none the wiser, we couldn't possibly get in trouble for this. We immediately get in trouble for this. We're taken to the courts again. It's just third time going. First is once under like threat of being breaching treaties. Second, to try and save a man who was guilty, and now blowing up and killing a giant shark. Turns out to be a pretty mythological creature for the Selkath, who'd have thought, and possibly poisoning the source of healing liquid that's necessary for both sides of an army in an armed conflict that will lead to many, many more casualties if it suddenly vanishes or is corrupted forever, which we might have accidentally done. So naturally, they're not too happy with us, and while they don't kill us outright despite wanting to, they decide to exile us from Mannan, unfortunately locking me out of some side quests that I was looking forward to, and that's where we are right now. So, yeah, whilst a lot happened, I don't think it's really something we have to experience in person, considering the fact that things went apart so well. I did a little research, and it turns out that there were some drivers that needed to get updated that I didn't realize were out of date, and it caused a partial crash of the game capture system. And again, because of the nature of the GeForce experience, I was not alerted to this fact until I had already recorded over 2 hours of content, and honestly, whilst I could try and re-record it, I don't know if we need much more than the recap because it's pretty straightforward. Ultimately, you just need to know Killy the Bid did what he does best and killed the giant fish, and now we're leaving Mannan. And we did a little bit of side shopping because I got a bunch of credits burning a hole in my pocket. And we're heading to the end of the game, so I went and bought some fun stuff. So let's check back in with Killy the Bid and see where we are now. And that brings us back to here. Now you'll see I'm at the Yavin 4 base. I went and just spent some money. I didn't really get a whole lot. Ultimately, what I ended up just getting is this snazzy suit, which is pretty much exactly the same as the suit I was wearing before, except it also gives me a boost to my dexterity and my strength. Literally, other than that, it's exactly the same. So we're pretty much ready to go. We got Zaalbar with his awesome swords. We got HK with his oh yeah, I forgot, like, one of the things I gave him is I gave him Chundar's bowcaster, which turned out to be one of the greatest weapons I've seen on a rifle, which is interesting. I never realized it was that powerful. But we are on our way back to the ship, and it's time for us to launch our final mission. And I think, you know, if we manage to catch up with Bastila along the way and keep her from, you know, dying, I'm sure that's probably a good thing. But, you know, ultimately, we're just going to go and try and find the Star Forge. So, let us get going to the Star Forge system. I like it. This planet has no entry in the Republic Archive. Go figure. Let's go. Welcome to Endgame. Take us away, Carth. Yes.
You are strong, child. but I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side. You think torture will turn me, Malik? You're a fool.
Torture? No, dear bastila. You misunderstand. This is but a taste of the dark side to whet your appetite. When you finally swear loyalty to me, it will be willingly.
Never.
Such resolve in your words, but I see the truth in your heart. The dark side calls to you, bastila. You hunger to taste it. Become my apprentice, and all its power can be yours.
She looks like she's doing great. It is an interesting strategy. Torture them into working with you. Doesn't seem like it would work, but, you know. Oh, I love this. Just imagine a device that just sucks matter out of a star, coalesces it into a sub-singularity, and processes raw material. It just makes an unending fleet of ships.
The Starforge. I've never seen anything like it. I'm transmitting these coordinates to Admiral Dodonna. Maybe a quick strike by the Republic can cripple the Sith fleet. Message is away. Now we can just wait for the Republic to show up. We should be safe here. We're outside their sensor range.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Small
You said we would
vanguard
be
of
safe,
Sith
Carth.
fighters coming in hard. Someone needs to get on those gun turrets.
Oh, it's the
Take
best
those
video
fighters
game.
out before they report our position to the main fleet.
You know, if they have communication, I guess we're out of sensor range, they said, but if they have communication abilities, can't they just, like, we sent a communication, like, across the galaxy. Can't they just send one, like, to the fleet? That's, like, right across the system? I don't know, man. It seems a little fishy to me.
Incoming fighters.
Yeah. Pretty good at a minigame I hate. I mean, it's not that it would be cooler if it were not so boring.
We've got problems. We've flown in some kind of disruptor field. All my instruments are jammed. We've got massive overloads in all systems. I'm picking up a single planet in this system. I'll try and put us down there. Hold on. This may be a rough landing.
Oh boy. We're in a bit of a situation. About a situation. Oh god, we're all gonna die. I love Firefly, if you haven't noticed. Firefly is one of the best shows ever.
Whew. Talk about your rough landings, Carth. What's the matter? You're flying like you've been on an all-night Teresian ale drinking binge.
That disruptor field fried our stabilizers. We're lucky we made it down in one piece. But if I can't find the salvage to make repairs, I won't even be able to get the Ebonhawk airborne again.
You know, during a rather rapid descent,
Where's his
I
lines?
noticed the hulls of many crashed ships scattered across the landscape. Maybe the parts you need can be found among their wreckage.
The old man's right. This planet's a technological graveyard. I saw dozens of downed ships out there. That disruptor field must have wiped them all out.
Even if we get the stabilizers fixed, we have to find and disable the source of that disruptor field before we can take off. Otherwise, we'll just end up crashing again.
Interestingly, this also has a herald back to another game made by BioWare, which was Mass Effect 2. The whole idea of the Omega-4 relay was the fact that when you jumped through, if you didn't have the proper unit involved, it would literally drop you out of the warp, disabled, and smash you to pieces. It would just rip you apart. So yeah, we kind of are in a similar situation. I wonder why the Sith ships aren't affected by the disruptor field.
They must have some kind of protection against it, but the Republic fleet won't. We have to find a way to disable that disruptor field, or the Sith will slaughter them.
T3's picking up massive power fluctuations on the ship's sensors. They seem to be coming from some type of large stone structure to the east. It looks like some kind of ancient temple.
Let's go check it out.
Good idea. If that temple's generating power, it probably has something to do with that disruptor field.
Hey, don't forget about Bastila, guys. We still have to rescue her, too.
I just hope we're not too late. Bastila's been Malik's prisoner for a long time. If he turns her to the dark side, she'll join him and the Sith will become invincible.
Even together, they're no match for me. I used to be a Sith Lord, remember?
I remember, though I hoped you would not be so quick to embrace the being you once were. If Bastila feels as you do, then she is lost to us, Revan.
Don't call me that. I'm not Revan anymore.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Now that you know your true identity, I was afraid you might slip back over to the dark side. If Bastila feels as you do, there may yet be hope for her.
Well, if Bastila's on the Starforce,
What? That
we
makes
can't
no sense.
rescue her until we disable that disruptor field. The sooner we investigate that temple to the east, the better. We can probably find the wreckage of a downed ship along the way. If we're lucky, we can salvage some stabilizers from it to get off this planet.
I hope everything works out as smooth as you make it sound, Carth.
Well, so do I, Mission. So do I.
Alright, so in that conversation, I used my boast because oh, I'm Revan, be like, oh, come on, if there's issues, I'll be able to handle it. I'm Revan, right? And he's like, oh, I hoped you wouldn't be so evil. I was like, no, come on, I'm not Revan. I was joking, obviously. He's like, oh, thank goodness. I literally got dark and light side points. I don't know if that's normally possible. Is it just based off what you say, or is it because I'm kind of neutral that it technically played both of them? That was one of the most ridiculous conversations I've ever seen, and I love it. Thank you so much, Jolee. You're always wonderful. All right. Usual squad. Come on, boys. All right. On to the beach. The Gitska again. No! So yeah, this planet's pretty cool. I used to think it was kind of a plot hole that we just happened to land on a planet that happens to be on an island that just happens to have the base with the field generator on it. It is a little funky because we are going to meet several key characters here that we have to meet that just happens to be where Revan landed last time. But I could also argue that there's probably a network on the planet and we can just access it at multiple points. Hello, fish boy. Hello, fish boys. Oh, there's a lot of fish boys. Oh, and you're all running at us. Cool. Cool. And around behind. Oh, where'd the grenade come from? Yes. Hello, Duros. You look familiar. You have defeated the murderous animals. Thank you, human, for saving us. No problem. If your arrival had not been fortunately timed, we would have been in great danger. Thank you again for saving us. What are you doing here? We crashed here on our mining survey vessel, encountered some strange sort of energy field, disrupted our engine and power system, and forced us to make a crash landing on this world. Our ship sank far out to sea, but a handful of us were able to make it to this island. More than you see here, though. Where are the rest of your companions? Many have been killed at the hands of the locals. A few tried to swim to one of the closer islands, but we have not heard from them in many days. Of the 10 of us who remained here, the 2 of us are the only remaining survivors. can stay in our ship if you want. No, we dare not. If we remain here, it will only be a matter of time before the natives of the Mandalorians find and kill us. Are Mandalorians here? Yes, they are. More than you might think. Although they may just be because they aren't as killed as easy as we are. With their weapons, they raid and kill the other survivors. They can fight off natives as well. They seem to have some sort of invisibility or light cloaking shield that hides them from until they strike. Alright. So what about these natives? We know a little beyond what they have told you already. Savages who eat the dead and attack anyone on sight. If it were not for them, the world might almost be hospitable. We cannot deny that here, the longer we stay, the more likely that either Mandalorians or natives will find us and kill us. Alright, let's see. So, why don't you try and get to one of the other islands? I believe that would be the best choice. The others have not returned, but it may be because they could find no way to. That would be worth the risk, rather than staying here and facing certain death. I thank you one last time, human, for saving us. We shall remember you, and hope that, should you escape, you will tell the Republic of those stranded here. I still don't understand why he wouldn't want to be on our ship. I guess maybe he just feels like, our ship crashed, your ship crashed, there's no way it's going to go anywhere. But still. Yeah, swimming to another island certainly sounds like the right choice. So yeah, we are on a bit of an adventure, you could say. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of you! Holy crap, I'm stuck on them. Ow!
To maximum.
They are so loud. Alright, well, we found habitation at least. Oh, those are rancors. Oh no. Stay your weapon, interloper. We're not here to battle for blood. We bring you an invitation from the One, great champion of Rakata. Rakata, the One. An invitation? What kind of invitation?
Query. You are able to comprehend the speech patterns of these organics? You must have visited this planet and learned their language in your previous incarnation as Darth Revan.
You have used strange magic and weapons to slaughter our raiding parties, interloper. You have gained the blood of the fierce Rakata warrior. Your power and skill in battle have impressed us, the One. He wishes to audience with you. A great honor. Come with us. We will take you to him. Alright, take me to the One. I like how apparently they think I use my magics. I didn't use my magics. I just had good blasters. Alright, hello. Revan, sometime I knew you would meet again. Even when you vanished, I knew you would not forget your vow you swore to me. And when my scouts told me of a great warrior from the sky slaughtering our raiding parties with mysterious powers and magics, I knew it had to return. Vow? I don't remember any vow. Your words are confusing. I recognize you. You are the one called Revan. You are the one who came here before, and you and Malak, the one who served you. You promised to slay our enemy in exchange for your aid to swear to destroy the elders and bring us their secrets. Are you saying this means nothing to you now? My mind was destroyed, my memories were lost. I believe you, Revan. I sense there is something different about you. Something that has changed. You are not the same as you were before. Yet the power of magic, what you call the Force, has stood in you still. You can still destroy the elders and fulfill your vow. What was this vow exactly? Sounds like a job. You vowed to kill the elders and bring us secret knowledge they protect. In exchange, we promised to use this lost knowledge to help you enter the temple of the ancients. Even when you vanished, we thought you had forgotten us, or been killed by the elders. Now that you have returned, our alliance still holds. Destroy the elders, and we will help you. I'll help you, but you have to answer my questions first. I suppose that if you say it's true, you cannot remember where you last here, then you must have many questions. Very well, Revan. I will help you understand. Then you will destroy the Elder Tribe and fulfill the oath you swore to us long ago. You probably should start with the last time I was here. You arrived with Malak, your servant, 3 of your galactic standard years ago. My scouts saw your skyship plummet to the earth, and they went to loot the crash site. They tried to take you prisoner, but you unleashed 4 magic, what you call the Force, upon them. Seeing your power, they bowed before you and brought you here to me. You used your power to rip the Rakata language from my mind, even as you drove basic into our skulls so we could help you with the quest to find something called the Starforge. But the answer you sought lay in the temple of the ancients, and we we could not help you enter the temple. The elders alone hold its secrets, guarding them with their very lives. Tell me about the Temple of the Ancients. There's little I could tell you about the temple. I know the secrets of our ancestors are contained within, but the temple itself is barred to us. When last you were here, you and Malik sought to enter the temple. You sought ancient knowledge and a way to escape this world within its stone walls. But only the elders know how to bypass the barrier that surrounds it. Destroy them and bring back their secrets to us. We will help you enter the temple. That was our agreement. Tell me more about the elders. The elders guard the ancient secrets, with their compound and the knowledge and power of magic, including the knowledge of how to enter the temple itself. I have lost many warriors storming the gates of their compound, but they use weapons of light and fire against us, and not even our war beasts are strong enough to breach their defenses. Sometimes we can capture an elder when they venture forth from their compound, and we have learned something of them. That's how we know they guard the ancient secrets. But no matter what tortures we inflict upon them, they will not reveal their secrets to us. They fear the knowledge they themselves guard. They will never willingly surrender to us. I need parts for my ship. That I could not help you with. Although we have recovered many strange devices from the sky ships that crashed to the Earth, they are used as a mystery to us. So, good faith, I will allow you to search the stores of our tribe. Take whatever you find. In exchange, I know you will destroy the elders and bring the secrets to guard back to me. Alright, so you say my ship crashed. Was it because of the disruptor field? I know nothing of a disruptor field, but throughout the history of our tribe, ships have fallen from the sky. It has always been this way, though in recent generations it has been more frequent. We have little understanding of such magic to make metal fly, but my scouts rush to take whatever they can carry from the crash sites in the hopes we will one day unlock these secrets. This was how we acquired our Rancor war beasts. Several young specimens were recovered from crashed vessels. We raised them to adulthood, training and breeding them to be loyal beasts of war. I need to hear the other like killing the bid. Like, all right, so I made an agreement. These guys seem a little deranged. I'm not sure they're gonna be the greatest of partners, so maybe I can sell this information for a better deal. I'll kill the elders and bring their secrets. I see that you have changed much since our last meeting. I am confident you will not betray us this time. The compound of the elders is to the south, beyond the temple of the ancients. From torturing the few elders we've captured, we know something of what lies beyond the gate. The elders are few in number. If you can get past the exterior defenses, you could slowly slaughter them all. Then you can bring back their knowledge to their guard. So if I kill the elders, how do I bring you their secrets? There was one prisoner, an elder, whose mind broke beneath our torture. He raved about ancient rituals, lost power, and forgotten secrets. Unfortunately, most of his dying screams made no sense. Yet his last hours, he spoke of a book, an ancient tome that recorded the most powerful knowledge of the elders and detailed the rituals that could unleash the secrets. I am certain this ancient tome will allow me to unleash what it has, for so long, been hidden by the elders. Bring me this book, and I will use the knowledge within to help you enter the temple. Alright. Don't worry, I'll slay the elders and honor our deal. When you have it, bring it to me. Until then, you may move freely about our village. I'll be waiting for your return. Alright, so I can move freely, means I can probably loot, right? Looks like it. Wow, look at that. There's like actual... Holy crap, there's a ton of stuff in here. This is the Rakata. We'll learn a bit of their history in a bit. So that's kind of what this episode's probably going to end up being, is a lot of, like, speaking... and history, because like I think it's really good to cover, especially with some of the stuff that's been happening in Andor, with the fact that they've kind of like they've hinted at and essentially like said that they're canonizing the Revan story, and one of the kind of like symbols of that has been apparently in Andor, and in one of the scenes there is a relic that is Rakata in design that resembles the stuff that we see here. And so, like, it's like in an established show, an established like IP within a new official canon, that the storyline with the Rakata, and the empire that they hailed from, is canon. So, like, it's actually pretty good for us to know this, in case if for some reason you've never played this game, or you just don't remember, it might be good to stop. What am I doing? It might be good to refresh your memory. Greetings, Herman. I am Gajurshi, lore master of my tribe. I am keeper of our histories and chronicler of the conquest of the war. Your lore master, what do you do? Memorize books? The position of Lord Master is sacred and respected one among our people. We are the keepers of history, who want to pass down the traditions of our people. I'm here to chronicle the conquests and achievements of the one. I followed his exploits for many years, and yours as well. Mine? When last you came to the island, the one had just arrived at his army. We spoke then, and now, as you told me your travels and stories with the worlds beyond ours. You spoke of the magical force you wield, which gave you power over the elements. But then you left us, went back to the stars, never to be heard from again. We wondered what had happened. What could have gone wrong, but could nothing against you or the elders. Do you not hate me from leaving your people? It does not matter to me what path you choose. Mystery follows the mysterious ways, and my task is only to witness and remember which course it takes. Your actions then, as now, are memories to be passed to the future generations. When you are dead and gone, your memories shall remain with us. Can you tell me the history of your people? What other people did you like to know? Tell me how your people came to be. In the time before our most ancient histories, there was nothing you could call a Rakatan people. They were an unintelligent proto-Rakatan wandering the surface of this world. Spawned from the womb of this world, they were gifted with the brilliance of thought, but not tempered with the wisdom to use it. When the gods of the sky first spoke to them, the ground shook and heaved, and fires raced across the surface of the world. They fled beneath ground to escape the calamity that dwelt there for some time. At last, the gods spoke to them in the dreams of the surface, of the light. They re-emerged from the ground and found the land much changed around them. Gone were the plains and valleys they had known. Instead, there were islands stretching across the breadth of the world. The world had been remade for them by the gods of the sky. They gave thanks in fear and gratitude. Tell me the gods you mentioned. The world is ruled by gods of the earth and sky, both living and dead. When the sky gods who made the world, the gods of the earth, who had sheltered and protected the Rakata, were gone. Whether dead or asleep, they have not been heard from again. Nor do the gods of the sky listen to our pleas any longer, although we can still see the lights gleaming in the heavens. So we mortal Rakata are left here with our own devices, to make the future we demand for ourselves. Tell me your first civilization. Back in the day, the first awakening, when our people rose from the ground and brought the light of civilization to our new world, the people spread far and wide across all the islands. Among these people were some of the rows the greatest and the largest islands, Rakatans of vision and forethought, who built monuments to themselves and their leaders. But these cultures did not know their true strengths. They did not draw upon the knowledge of the past and feed the present. Of course, these cultures, with their centers of learning and their great temples, collapsed in riots and chaos, burning their cultures to the ground into an orgy of violence. It was 1,000 years of darkness before the light of the First Empire rose amongst the blood of the past. So, what's the First Empire? When the first civilizations of our people destroyed, and chaos and anarchy swept the islands, it seemed that time and darkness had descended upon us that would never end. But the strong nation of survivors yet endured. One of the smaller islands near the equatorial regions, they had not forgotten the oldest traditions. Those learned from the gods of the earth while we dwelt beneath the surface. Taking the knowledge of the elders and passing their wisdom and skill to the next generation, by eating their flesh, they built a culture unrivaled throughout history, greater even than your vaunted republic. For millennia, the Empire stood, united on the many islands of the world in one cohesive whole, each generation passing its strength from one to the next that followed. But fate was unkind to these great Rakata, the first ones of our kind to rise above savagery and create a true, lasting empire. So, they eat the dead to consume their knowledge. Okay. Tell me what happened to the First Empire. Our skin had been hardened, turned black from our time with the pens beneath the surface. But always at the fringes of society there were rumors. Rumors of those other colors who survived below the surface while we dwelt below. We can pinpoint no direct cause for the collapse of the First Empire, but it was swift and total. What had taken centuries to build was maintained in thousands of years, disappeared within 10, maybe 20 years. From the ancient cities we have examined, there were much fighting and death, as well as fires that burned bright and hot enough to melt the stones of the palace's glass. Also, in scattering fragments and records, we have heard of people being found, and people unlike the Rakata, but taking our form, who waged a monumental war that tore civilization apart. When the war was, or who these beings were, we do not know. But they are the demons of our legends now. We believe them to be gone, wiped out to the vast conflagration, but we cannot know for sure. What happened after the collapse of the First Empire? Our civilization lapsed back into savagery. We were no longer the great people of centuries past. Brother turned on brother, tribesman on tribesman, so all fought to source to destroy each other. The legacy of the final war and the collapse that came after is still echoed with us today. We are still a fractured people. Many tribes dwell on these islands, warring with each other constantly. Each seeks to grow its own strength, absorbing that of the enemies through their flesh, cut down in battle. But none have been strong enough to exert their influence over more than a handful of islands. Until now, that is. We are now in the midst of the Great War of Reclamation. And tell me the one. The great story of the one would take many days to tell in its entirety. It is my specialty, of course. What would you like to know of this great story? How was he raised? Born to poverty, raised in a hovel with no elder to guide him, who shared strength with him. He had nothing to rely on but himself. But in his weakness, he was uniquely destined for strength and burdens that carries it. Even in his youth, it was obvious that the one was destined for greatness. But when the youngling, he defeated one of the strange blue-armored warriors who fell from the sky and feasted upon him. A respect for his battle gave him the steps he needed to go forward on the path that led him ever upwards since. So he killed a Mandalorian. Tell me how he came to power. By adulthood, the one was held in awe by those of his tribe as both a warrior and a leader. When he challenged the chieftain of his tribe, no one doubted he would prevail. The chieftain could see and, knowing that the one would bring the tribe into greatness, offered himself up without a fight. The tribe fed well and was strong for his sacrifice. Under the leadership of the one, his tribe conquered all others on the island, capturing and subduing their warriors, feasting on their chieftains, and growing his own army at the same time. He was truly a force that could not be stopped. A leader, unlike any we've seen in our history. He will be the one to unite us all. Tell me of his conquests. After he had conquered his own island, and his army had grown to a large size, he turned his eyes toward the nearest other islands in the archipelago. With each island that fell to him, his army grew stronger, his wisdom greater, with each chief he'd given up to him, and his vision for the future of our people brighter. Before long, he had conquered every island in the month's sailing, and his armies expanded in every direction, seeing that nothing would stand against him then. But we heard the temple of the ancients here, and this forgotten island at the edge of the true sea. The one was intrigued when we were placed in power. To be sure, none could doubt its significance. Driven by portents and omens, he came to this island with 1,000 of his finest warriors, and here we stay. We cannot leave while the temple stands unopened, but we cannot enter while the elders stand against us, and the one sits each day brooding on the fate that has led us to this impasse. I think we're good here. If you must, I shall remain as I always do, listening to those who wish to speak and remembering. Alright, oh cool, I got a bunch of experience for listening to that. Alright, so that's the history of the Rakatan people according to this very tribal group. So now we're going to go to the elders, and we're likely going to learn a bit more about what they perceive as the history. Ah, this definitely looks like a fun place. Guessing they will kill you. Just willingly walk in, huh? You are not Rakata. What is your business here, Offworlder? Who are you? We are the elders, and you will answer our question. Who are you, and why have you come? I've come from the Rakata to speak to you. From the Rakata? If you are a spy, you must be killed. Oh. Oh! It just flat out kills you. What? Huh. Okay. 24, 28. Alright. Glad I saved. Alright. Step number 2. I seek the Star Forge. You are Revan. The council wishes to speak to you. You may enter. Okay. See, why didn't I just say that the first time? I like how it literally just kills you. Hello. We are the other council. We didn't expect to see you again, Revan. We thought you'd betrayed us. Why have you returned to our village after all this time? I spoke to you once before? What did I want? Is some type of test, Revan? Some type of trick? You came seeking our aid. You came in search of a way to enter the Temple of the Ancients. You claimed to be seeking a way to destroy the Star Forge. We were foolish enough to believe you, unaware of your true nature. We helped you into the temple. But you betrayed us, Revan. Instead of destroying the terrible legacy of our ancestors, you unleashed an evil of the Star Forge upon an unsuspecting galaxy. And now you stand before the Council of Elders once more. And once more we ask you, for what reason have you returned, Revan? I need to get into the temple so I can destroy the Star Forge. Do you think us fools, Revan? Do you think we've forgotten how you lied to us last time? Why should we believe you now? My mind was destroyed. All my memories were lost. It changed me. I'm not who you think I am. It says that a lot of experience of our past define us and make us who we are. That's true, you've lost your memories, and perhaps you're changed. But why do we even know that's not some trick, Revan? Let's see. The part of me that was Revan is dead. I'm now Killy the Bid. You're not who we once were, yet hear your world repeating the pattern of the last visits. Like the last time, you have crashed here. Like last time, you have come seeking our help. How have you changed, Revan? The one wanted me to kill you, but I've come here peacefully. Again, you're only repeating the patterns from before. You were holding secrets into the temple, that's why you do not attack us. You came in guise of a friend, but now we know you're not going to betray us again. Gotcha. Apparently I have to do the right one. I could prove what's in my heart, and I'll ask you to judge me by my actions. My sense you mean your words you speak. The words are easy to say. It's action that must prove your true nature to our character. You must prove to us that you're not the same you as once were, Revan. You must prove that you have changed. How could I prove that? Recently, several of our scouts were captured by the One. Most of them were brutally slaughtered, but we have information that one of the scouts is still alive. It will be unimaginable torture to force the scout to reveal everything he knows about our tribe, and once the One is done with him, the scout will be executed like the others. You must prove you have truly changed by risking your own life to save another. Rescue our scout from the clutches of the One, and we'll consider helping you. Maybe I can negotiate with the One to release your hostage. We'd prefer if you could find some way to save the prisoner without bloodshed, but we don't believe that'll be possible. The One does not like to negotiate. So if you're hiring me to save the prisoner and you'll help me, risking your life to save the prisoner would show us that you're sincere about making amends for the past. Alright. I have some questions, though. We will tell you what we can, Revan. I have a question about you, your tribe, the history of your temple. You should speak to Oshra, the Keeper of History. He's located near the Great Computer, the far side of the Enclave. But I'll do my best to answer your questions. Let's see. Tell me about your tribe. We are the Elders, the ancients that were priests in the Infinite Empire, the guardians of the temple and keepers of technology. After the warlords unleashed our weapons of mass destruction and devastated the world, our ancestors knew we could never allow such technology to be used again. We sealed the knowledge of destruction within the temple, and for the past 1,000 generations we have kept vigil here, ensuring the knowledge did not fall into the wrong hands. If you wish to know more about our history, speak with Oshra, Keeper of History. I'll come back after I release the prisoner. The prisoner is being held in the chamber of the One himself. Return to us once he's freed. Until then, you have free run of our enclave. Alright, it's gonna be history episode. Let's go get the history, and then we're probably gonna end it here just because otherwise this is gonna be freakishly long, and I don't want that. Oh, here's the keeper. Greetings once again, Revan. I'm glad they have returned. I couldn't believe you betrayed us despite what the council said. I'm sorry, I don't remember you. My name was Orsa. I'm Keeper of History of the Elders. Last time you were here, we had many questions for me. The council told us of the destruction of your memories, but still I hoped you might recall something of our past discussion. Look on the bright side, we can have all those discussions again. Yes, I suppose that is true. As you can imagine, I have a few opportunities to share my knowledge with those outside the Enclave. Actually, I do have a few questions for you. Yes, of course, although you must forgive me as it starts to seem familiar. After all, we did go over the history of the Ricardos on Blank last time you were here. I will do my best to enlighten you to the best of my knowledge I was told. What subject you wish to learn about? Then in the beginning of the Ricardo Empire. Long ago, we Ricardo were a great spacefaring people. Our ships combined technology and the power of the Force. We were able to pilot them through the furthest reaches of the galaxy. Everywhere we went, we found civilizations less advanced, weaker than our own. But instead of helping them advance, we conquered and enslaved them. Back then, we could command the Force. That, combined with our advanced technology, made our march of conquest irresistible. Soon the Infinite Empire stretched across the entire galaxy. Over time, we lost our ability to use the Force. Some believe we'd used the Force for so long we evolved biologically and became immune to its effects. In any case, once we lost the sensitivity to the Force, the Empire began to fracture. We had to revert to our conventional space travel using inferior technology. Our ultimate collapse was inevitable. I think that inferior technology is hyperspace, like hyperdrives. How did the Ricardo Empire collapse? Long ago, the Ricardo ruled of the known galaxy. The species bowed down to us, but we were corrupt people, and in our fall from glory, there are terrible lessons that must be learned. The Infinite Empire was built on slaughter. It was inevitable we should collapse upon ourselves. War, plague, slave rebellion forced us to retreat back here to our hidden home world. Here, conflict among power-hungry warlords escalated into full civil war. Terrible weapons of mass destruction were unleashed, driving most of Rakata far beneath the earth for shelter. And that's where like the mythos of the other tribe kicks up. The devastation ravaged the world. Our people were scattered, our cities leveled, our very existence all but erased. The glory of the Infinite Empire is now nothing but dust and bones. In the past few thousand years, small bands of Rakata have begun to return to the surface, but they are primitive and superstitious creatures. Only we elders remember anything of the true past. Do you know how to disrupt disable the disruptor field that caused my ship to crash? The disruptor field is one of the ancient defenses of the Starforge. A great generator within the Temple of the Ancients fuels it. You'll have to enter the temple to disable it. I want to know something else. Tell me about the tribe of elders. We elders are descendants of the holy priests cast into the Infinite Empire, survivors of a terrible weapon unleashed by the warlords during the final collapse of our empire. Inside the Temple of the Ancients, our ancestors were safe from the destruction of the forces of the other Rakata and fled underground. We emerged from the temple to find an empty and ruined land. At last we understood the terrible power of our own technology. To ensure it never could be unleashed upon us again, we sealed the ancient knowledge within the temple. I want to ask you something else. What do you know about the other Rakata tribes here? Many centuries ago, the other Rakata began to emerge from underground warrens where they had sought shelter from the devastation of the warlords. But the Rakata were violent, and the warlords they had fled many millennia ago. After centuries of battle, the bloodshed tribes of the One have emerged as the strongest of them all. Now the One, lured by half-remembered legends of his people, lusts to possess the terrible power locked inside the temple. We can never allow that to happen. Have you tried reasoning with the One? When the One first arrived on the island, we sent emissaries under flag of truce to try and negotiate with his tribe, but all our envoys brutally slaughtered. We do have technology to destroy the One and his followers, but if we kill them all, we will prove that we've learned nothing over the past 20,000 years. The One is mad with power, we choose not to fight him, so our only course of action is to stay here in isolation, where we are safe, just as we have done for the past 20,000 years. I think that's pretty much everything. I gotta go now. Yes, of course. You have much to do, little enough time to do it. But if you ever have a question for me, I'll be happy to try and answer them. Alright. Can I go in here? I'm kind of scared, so I'm gonna save, because this feels like a point of no return. It's a computer. User verification. User species, non-Rakata. Access to auxiliary archives is restricted to Rakata and approval of servants. Slaves may not access the archives. I do say the Rakata. How else would I learn the language? Logical. Hunter speaks the language of Rakata in order to serve them. User added to authorized list of non-Rakata. Further information can be obtained from the main archive within the Temple of the Ancients. Downloading codes to bypass exterior energy fields surrounding temple. My archives are ready for information retrieved and downloads of remote data storage. Please select the topic. Looking for secrets of the ancient Rakata. Searching. Retrieving information. The secrets are locked within the Temple of the Ancients. The Elders sealed this information away to prevent technology from falling into the wrong hands. How can I get into the temple? Searching. Retrieving information. The shields constructed by the Elders to guard the temple are controlled from the summit of the structure. Anyone inside the temple may temporarily shut down the shields. There's only one way to gain access to the temple from the outside. The shields are designed to lower in response to a ritualistic chant detailed in the ancient text held by the Keeper of History. To protect the secrets within the temple, the chant will only work as spoken by Rakata. No other species can create the proper intonation that will trigger the shield deactivation. I'll ask you something else. Tell me about the Starforge. Searching. Error. No information on Starforge detected. Information may be recorded in the database within the Temple of the Ancients. Tell me about the Temple of the Ancients. Searching. Retrieving information. The temple is a sacred place of ancient secrets. All the dark mysteries of the Rakata are housed within its stone walls, which pulse with the living power of the ancients. Those who can command the Force can enter the temple. None among the Rakata still have this ability, though the Elders are seeking to breed a Force-sensitive being. Interesting. Alright, I'll be going. Please refer if you require further information concerning the auxiliary archive. Alright, so they have like an AI here that knows basic information. The most basic information. The rest is locked away inside the actual temple itself. This means there's a lot of fun stuff to explore out there. Let me see. Maybe I can talk to this guy. Researcher Leo. You have returned at last, Revan. I was beginning to wonder what had happened to you in the temple. You know me? We had previously last when you last entered the Enclave many years ago. You inquired into my research then, as well. You came here to gain access to the temple. They were never heard from again. Some thought you might have betrayed us to the others, but they were never able to penetrate our defenses. But if you'll help us now, then time is not taken as nothing. There's anything else you require? What are you doing? What am I doing? You mean the purpose of my research here? What is your research? As you may have heard from our historians in a distant past, we melded technology and the Force to create truly wondrous effects. We guided ships across the galaxy using our power, incorporated its use in all aspects of society. But something happened somewhere. What happened? There are various theories on what happened. Perhaps we became immune to the effects of the Force from overuse. Perhaps our breeding habits rendered our species insensitive to it over time. I truly know. The only discernible result was that we could no longer command the Force as we had. The power had escaped us. With its loss, our technologies could no longer hold us far above the subjugated races we ruled, and our empire began to crumble. The races we subjugated rose up. Plague swept our world. We could do nothing against all these calamities. In the end, only the members of our race left here, and our homeworld survived. So what are you researching, then? Even once in a while, there's an individual born who has an affinity for the Force. Maybe not the ability to use it directly, but at least the ability to remain open to it. I believe this is a sign of whatever genes our species have that gave us the ability to use the Force that are not completely gone. Perhaps when the ancestors of current tribes fled beneath the surface, some retained this trait. We have been working for years to isolate the gene to attempt to resurrect it in our species as well. It was the elders who did not have the Force sensitivity ourselves, but by harnessing the genetic structure of our tribes, we hope to be able to breed the gene back into our species. You're capturing prisoners for their genes? You make it seem like we're monsters. Surely we are not. We capture them, yes, but only because the tribes have become extremely xenophobic in their millennia trapped under the world. They would not aid us willingly and killed our messengers when asked. We believe that we get a large enough genetic sample, we can reconstruct the recessive Force-sensitive genes back into our people, allowing us to once again access the heritage of our past. You mean in the temple? Yes, the temple. We can only be entered by those sensitive to the Force, so it has been barred to us for ages. But what we may find inside will allow us to lift the other tribes out of the barbarism that they have fallen in and restore us to a productive force in the galaxy. I don't know how the Republic and Sith would see you. That is a worry, but we hope that our good intentions will let them accept us. This time, perhaps we can redeem ourselves in the eyes of the galaxy and become a force of good. How close are you to finishing this research? We are quite far along, having had centuries to work already. But with the arrival of another tribe to our island, we have been restricted in our movements to just our enclave. We have captured a few of their warriors, but the one seems interested in us as the leader, the One. What's special about him? Those are the genes we seek seem to be marked with a destiny that causes them to rise above others as we did as a species early on. In hearing the stories his warriors tell of the One, we believe that he may hold some of the genes we seek. He may be nearing Force sensitivity. Unfortunately, he and his people are too aggressive and violent for us to even get close enough to study him. His corpse would not do either. Its only living, working body is of use to us. Maybe in time, though, the difference between our peoples will be lessened enough that we may study one another and gain the information we need. How could I help with your research? If only we had access to the knowledge of our ancestors. They must have much more than us. They have much greater population sample to work with. I believe the temple there must have information we seek, perhaps the old archive or scrolls, maybe even the ancient computer if it is still functioning. This information helps us greatly in our work, and we would be very grateful for you. Is there anything else I can help you with? I have to go. Interesting. So I didn't know about this side quest. So, yeah, I think we'll have to take a peek at some of the computers in there and see if we can turn over some information. You know, not that I'm a big fan of eugenics programs, but, I mean, to each their own. But that is where we're going to end for today. I know this is a big info dump, but I promise next episode is going to be full of excitement. We're going to be going and slaughtering all the One and his people. We're going to be coming back and getting into the temple, which is going to be a lot of fun in itself. And I'm sure that's going to be the output of that whole episode. But at that point, I bet you we only have 1 or 2 episodes left. Actually, I'd probably say 1. So yeah, we are on the absolute precipice of the end. Maybe 2 more weeks of content here. So if you're interested in trying to make a suggestion for a type of content or game you'd like to see me play after this, that's not a visual novel. Remember, Tuesdays and Thursdays are for non-visual novel content. If you have a recommendation, please make sure to let me know. Either put it in the description here, like leave a comment, or you can go to the Discord and put it there. I've got ideas, and I'm sure we're gonna be holding a vote in the near future about like what you guys are most interested in. But I would love to hear your input because it helps me understand what you are interested in. Because there's a lot I'd love to play. So what would be the most exciting for you to see? What's something you'd be interested to see my opinions on? What's a game that maybe you think is maybe underrated that doesn't get covered as much on YouTube as it should? I'd love to hear all your answers to that and more. Especially thank you to the patrons who help make this content more possible than ever. But each one of you make this possible, and I love each and every one of you for it. Thank you so much. I really mean that, 100%. But until the next video, watch me up and see me in next. I'll see you there.